Act Age is just such an amazing manga. I have to start by how unique the concept of this manga is, where it focuses on acting and how it gives us some insight into the whole acting world. It is really unique, especially for when this manga is released at about the start of 2018, where it is considered a really innovative idea, especially for Shonen Jump, which is getting repetitive. And it's low-key why Oshinoko got so successful and is considered its successor, where this type of manga really got its time to shine. And it's got some serious potential, because the options are endless. Since the main character's goal is to become the best actor, there's a lot of different genres of media that can get shown to the public and that the main character Kei can experience. And this manga fully utilizes them all, from movies, ads, musicals, vlog, or even double casting, which I did not know it's a thing. And each of them serves as a really interesting individual arc, since they all have really unique aspects that is only explored in that specific genre. And because of the unique nature of it, it makes each of them so damn enjoyable to read. Each one of those arcs or experiences is extremely unique and brings something new to the table every time. Especially with the newly added character, each arc that specializes in that genre of media makes them also interesting to read. And then they're also very standalone, especially the big ones. Each of them could be its own separate movie, and you don't really have to watch any prior parts of the show to get it. And then they can make an arc long or short depending on how much the author wants to write it. And the long arcs are definitely a treat to read, as it explores that genre of media so thoroughly and gives it so much time for character and story development. Which is why Galactic Railway arc is still most people's favorite and personally my favorite arc too, because it is genuinely so unique and the story is so well polished, it is genuinely amazing. Back to the whole Galactic Railway, using that as an example, as it is a stage play, it is a lot more different than how a movie would play out, as it is live in front of an audience and the subtle details are less noticeable, and it's a lot more acting centric, and you can't redo your takes if you fail, which makes this arc and each individual arc unique in its own. And for each of those arcs, it brings in something totally unique, and then it brings in new characters as well that will help Kei's growth, and they are all such interesting souls. And they are usually very famous actors, like a superstar basically, and the author did a perfect job at making them appear to be shining. When you're reading the manga, they feel like they deserve the spotlight and the attention they're getting. They're all so passionate about what they do and would devote their life to it, which I really enjoy, because who doesn't like to see someone being really passionate about something? I really like how the antagonist role is being portrayed in this manga, because there is and will never be a true villain in this manga. It's more about a competition between Kei and her friends, because they are all competing for the first, and they will not hesitate if they can take the chance to overtake the other one person's spot, which I think is really good and honestly true to real life. Because who doesn't want to be the most famous at something? And then because of this, the relationship between Kei and her acting friends are kind of unique. I think they're not really friends and more give off a co-worker type of vibe. And then what I really enjoyed is that the author dedicated a whole arc to Kei making actual friends in her school. Even though the arc is all not that interesting, I still thoroughly enjoyed it. I think reading this manga definitely gives you a fresh view on actors and watching shows in general, since they make you realize how brutal yet captivating the acting scene is. And then you can feel the competition between the characters being really significant part, and it's being portrayed beautifully. And when you watch something else other than this manga, you begin to have a different perception to how the actors act, and you gain a whole another level of appreciation to them. that they probably experienced something very similar to what happened in this manga. And because of how much like extra knowledge this manga expressed throughout, even though some of them is over exaggerated for like plot purposes, I still believe it should generally be true to real life. The main character, Kei, is definitely a treat to read. She is just such a powerful character. It is like an OP character done right. Reminds me a lot of Rimuru Loki. It really do work like an isekai where you keep leveling up with each event, and then you would make new friends / allies along the way, and then they would help Kei grow, not just as an actor, but as a person too. You can quite literally observe the change that Kei goes through. It's basically like leveling up and unlocking new skills. Because of this real noticeable change, it makes reading this manga really satisfying. You are like growing along with Kei, and then the whole process feels very natural. And then she is just such like a best girl type of character. She is like very cute throughout. If you really pay attention to the small parts of the manga that I assume the illustrator put to like make the story feel more vibrant or like more fun basically. You can really tell that the artist had a great time giving her like a unique personality and really enjoys like the characters when it's not really necessary for the plot or the character development. The pacing is also really perfect as well. It really weaves you one into another, and there's often a big break in between the big arcs with the small arcs, so the transition feels smooth. The small arcs basically act as like a break sort of, and they're usually not that exciting, but they're great of great like story building and then character development, especially for Kei. And then it basically acts as a refresher before the main course, and it doesn't make you feel bored of eating big meals every time, you know, like if you know what I mean. However, as many of you would have already known, the ending of this manga is really like bittersweet. Well, just bitter, honestly. This manga never got an ending and was forcibly cancelled because the author was found to be a pedophile harassing middle school girls and got sentenced to prison for a year and a half, and all of his works basically got cut and shut out. And the planned real stage play of the Galactic Railway sequence also got cut, which I think it's gonna be absolutely wonderful if it's done right. And then although he is out of prison now, I really doubt that this manga will ever resume, because I think it is to like set an example for future authors as a warning basically. And then this kind of stuff just isn't really allowed in the modern society, like in general. So we will never see Kei's growth to become the best actor or Smiji's magnum opus, which is incredibly sad. It was like really surprising when I found out, because the manga itself had like no traces of any pedophile related activities, like especially compared to some of the other mangas out there, which have some pretty insane stuff. Also, all respect to the illustrator, which is different from the author, Shiro Uzasaki, which I think was hurt the most in this whole like drama, besides the victims of course, as she didn't do anything and got her manga basically cut. And then she basically didn't resume any like long-term work until recently, with the new work being called Mada no Ichi, which it's like decent. And then she's also as an illustrator for that manga as well. But then yeah, it basically just means that this manga will never resume, and they will never got to hear like any more like news or sayings from the author. He really just like disappeared after the whole incident. But yeah, it really is just like, it is what it is, and you can't really do much to change it. It's just really sad that this manga really has to end this way when the potential is like up there.